Welcome to the Fierce Feminine Frequency. I know we had a long break now, but we're back. Today, we're talking about the 70-30 rule in business that changed my life. And if you're a woman in business, if you just started a business or are thinking, that's actually best case scenario, if you're thinking of starting a business, but you kind of don't have any clue what to do, this is perfect for you now because you save at least 3 years of experience and failure and probably 2 burnouts. Let's dive into that. And I came with notes today because this is a bit of I could talk for ages about the 70-30 rule, about feminine masculine dynamics, about the balance between it. But here we get the thing, because it's not about balance. What you have to understand is that we all have masculine energies and feminine energies within us. But our basic energy, our original substance and source is the feminine energy. And for men, it's the masculine energy. But still means we also have masculine energy and they also have feminine energy. That's why I always love it when men ask me, like, I don't need feminine leadership. Like, you do, and we need masculine leadership. Like, it's always both. But I call myself a feminine leadership coach since we're lacking the feminine in leadership in total and general. What is the 70-30 rule for a thriving business, especially for women? The thing is, if you try to do everything in a masculine mode, that makes your business thrive. I can promise you that, because it works. You see the market. Everything is masculine out there. From the level, from the energy, from the outcomes, from the initiation, from how people treat each other. That's very masculine mode, very raw, very competitive. You can do that. You can be 100% in masculine mode and you will thrive in business, but your femininity will suffer. You will sacrifice your feminine energy and you will burn out very, very soon, way sooner than men, by the way, because it's not your basic original source energy. For women especially, it's also not working to be 100% in your feminine unless you're a housewife and you are fully provided and sponsored by your husband, then that's working. But if that's not the case, then, and by the way, if that's the case, congratulations on that one. If that's not the case, then you have to implement the masculine energy in your business and also in your life in general, because it's not working. If you're 100% feminine mode, you cannot run a business. You cannot, because masculine mode is action, is taking action, is taking risks, is setting boundaries, saying no, being detached of emotions, of personal issues, like leaving it at home. That's not a feminine skill. We try to include everyone. We are community builders. You kind of have to get rid of that in business sometimes. That's why it's called the 70-30 rule. Sometimes, in order to have a thriving business, the most important thing is to understand what is the 70, what is the 30%. And for women, the 70% are masculine mode and the 30% are feminine mode. It's not 80-20 for me, because I think that's not enough, 20% feminine energy for a woman in business. But I would say that if you do 70% and 30%, it's a nice balance, because you will have your thriving business, but you won't sacrifice your femininity because you implement it and integrate it well enough in your business and for sure in your life, so that you can have both. You can have a beautiful life, love yourself as a woman, love womanhood in general, maybe have a beautiful relationship, a great love life, whatever you're craving in that very moment, but also have the thriving business, which gives you the stability in order to be flexible. How can you implement? I did a masterclass on that, by the way. That's why I was inspired to do that podcast episode, because I wanted to share what I literally shared in that masterclass. And for me, for example, the 70-30 rule works if with content. I tried, oh my God, guys, I tried so hard to do it when I feel it, to post what I feel when I feel it. And it is not working, because let's be honest, in follicular and ovulation phase, we feel to post all 20 seconds. And in Luteal, no, for 2 weeks in a row, I don't want to post anything. Consistency is key. Consistency is the key to success, for real. That is the number one thing. And discipline, which means consistency. Consistency it is, okay? And confidence with your consistency. That's why I give mentorings on that. Being fierce and feminine. Being 70% masculine strategy, the fierce part, but also feminine, 30% feminine intuition, the feminine part. That's why my mentoring is called Fierce Feminine Mentoring, okay? Because we try to keep the balance, like not 50-50 balance, but you know what I mean. Because, for example, in life for you as a woman, it should be 70% feminine and 30% masculine. Never give your whole power away, okay? Like, we don't do that nowadays, especially because men are in their healing phase now, which we've been 10 years ago, 5 to 10 years ago. Now is not the time to fully surrender and dedicate, but to always stay in charge of your own life as well. Very important. It's about empowerment, and you don't want to repeat the pattern and cycle, generational trauma and cycle of being silenced, being dependent. We don't know. We're seeking partnerships of the new era, which give us the freedom to fully express ourselves within this very relationship. But that's another topic. For me, for example, the 70-30 rule, how do I implement it for the content creation? As I told you, it's not working if I'm just doing it the feminine mode, feeling it and then posting it. I know we all want that, but it's not gonna work because you need consistency, and the female cycle by itself, by default, is not consistent in a daily, or for a daily schedule or for a weekly schedule, because we have a monthly cycle, so we cannot schedule a daily consistency based on our monthly cycle. It's just not aligning. What we're gonna do, or what I suggest you to do, this is how it works for me. I pre-schedule all my posts. I pre-write all my posts in follicular ovulation phase, when I have the drive, when I have the ideas, when I have the energy, and when I'm creative, when I'm in my creative flow. That is where I can be fully creative, feminine mode. Then I have a schedule plan, a content plan, and schedule posts a week ahead, which makes it very masculine, because this is a strategy here. I follow very strict patterns and a very strict method on my Instagram, on my TikTok, even on LinkedIn, okay? This is masculine, but this is just 70% masculine, because the other 30% are, okay, one time the content creation, but also I give myself permission, because I have all these posts pre-written, that whatever post I feel most for the week, I'm gonna post. I have the consistency in scheduling with the masculine structure, but I still have my feminine intuition in my business that tells me this is a good time to post that post now. Since I have them pre-written, it's working. Try that for yourself and you're gonna thrive. I'm promising you that. Thanks for being back, and speak to you soon. All the love, Leonos.